So one day I think it was in a Humble Bundle. I go ahead and I buy this Humble Bundle and get a shit ton of games. It's the same deal as all Humble Bundles, right? And one of the games was called Titan Souls. Now I had heard about this game before. Like one of my friends played it. They said it was pretty cool, and so it sounds like Dark Souls because it has souls in the title. So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Maybe it's like a Souls inspired sort of top down game. So I play it, and this game blows. I fucking hate this game. It's How to Be Annoying, the video game. So like in this game, you play as a dude, and you have a bow and arrow, and you have a single arrow for this bow. So you basically constantly you shoot the arrow at these bosses because the only things in the game that you fight are bosses. So you shoot the arrow, and then you can make it come back to you. And that itself doesn't sound like a bad mechanic. It sounds pretty interesting. I think it does damage on the way back as well as forwards. I don't remember, but in any case, you can do a lot with that. There's a lot you can do with just that premise. But the thing is, you also die in one hit, and this is the biggest thing because, like I said, all the bosses you fight or all the things you fight are bosses, and so they first throw you at 3 or 4 tutorial bosses, which none of which are really particularly fun, and they're kind of they're not incredibly challenging, but they're challenging enough. And then once you beat them, you unlock the rest of the world, in which there's a big ass world that you can explore, and you're basically just finding more bosses. You have to complete puzzles to find more bosses. But the thing about the bosses is that they'll kill you in one hit. Often they'll kill you the ways in which they kill you, it's all projected. You can reasonably dodge them. It's just very you can react to them, I should say. In a game where the controls are a bit, how can I put this? I can see the trajectory in which I'm going to get hit by a boss, right? But actually dodging them is an ordeal. And that combined with you dying in one hit, and combined with you don't immediately start the boss over immediately like you would in Super Meat Boy, for example, where if you get hit by anything in that game, you have to start at the beginning. But the thing is, Super Meat Boy has the intelligence to immediately have you keep going until you succeed the challenge. They don't have you wait through loading screens and going back to actually physically walking back to the area where you died. And Titan Souls does that. And this is why Titan Souls falls apart, because it doesn't throw you a bone. And while I understand there is a certain number of people that would like that sort of thing, it's honestly just really asinine, boring, and stupid. Why do I have to walk all the way back to this guy that I'm fighting? It doesn't add any challenge. It just makes the game more boring. And I stopped this game immediately after the first part, because the first part, it was at least manageable, because you always respawn in the beginning of this area, and the area wasn't that big to begin with. But the thing is, it I said, it opens up to a bigger open world. And when you die, I believe you spawn in the center of it. If not, you spawn in the beginning of the area that the boss is in, and that's still too much walking. It's too much loading screens. It's too much, and so death is very punishing and also very easy to do. It's really easy to die. It's really easy to die, and your punishment is you going back, because there's no actual, as far as I know, there is no RPG elements. It's just a game where you have a bow and arrow. You'll constantly do the same amount of damage. You might get more powers along the way. It might have Metroidvania elements. I don't know. I didn't get that far because the game, it felt way too, not really challenging, because it wasn't really a challenge to get back to the boss fights. The challenge was in dodging the boss attacks, but you can't get used to dodging the boss's attacks because the game kills you instantly, and you have to walk all the way back. It's too much time wasted. So yeah, that's my rant for today.